Cheers, buddy. Hold on. Clean the top of that. Fucking 7-Eleven.
A little scratch his ass with it.
Yeah, you ready?
Two,
three.
Welcome back to another episode. We always fuck up the intro.
Yeah, we do big time.
Of A Few Brews Podcast. It's your boys, Nick.
Frank.
Nice to see y'all again.
Nice to see you guys.
Boy left me hanging hard on that one.
Which one? Nah.
Yeah,
I thought we tapped it before we opened.
Fuck yourself. I know we're not supposed to curse in the opening seconds.
Yeah. But sometimes it's due, right?
Sometimes it's due. It's in due course. How you feeling today, baby?
I'm good.
I gotta fucking keep up the streak. We're 3 for 3. I always ask you how you doing, so let's check in.
I know. I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Just living.
Okay. I'm not even
living
gonna lie.
the dream, right?
Yeah, we've tried to again change the setup in here. We're still finding our groove.
Trying to find a nice seating arrangement.
I'm gonna do my best to not speak into the
mic. Yeah.
This far away.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So we have a couple episodes out now. We have two new episodes we just put out. Well, he's been editing because I'm terrible at editing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So
yeah, I mean, we launched and it was kind of scary, man.
Yeah.
You always like thinking about everything going on in the world, worrying about how you're gonna be perceived and stuff like that.
Yeah, what you're saying wrong, right?
And I think that's very human to feel like that.
I agree.
But you have to do it. You got to do it, baby.
You just gotta get yourself out there.
You do. At some point you have to, because if not, what's the point of living your life?
Yeah.
If you have all these avenues that are unexplored, like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this just puts yourself out there, different perspective, everyone gets to see, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's nice because even though we don't have a lot of views and whatnot yet, even if we don't, but at least we're just getting ourselves out there, we're showing our opinion and
having a few brews.
Yeah, and having a few fucking beers while we're doing it.
It's been fun. Honestly, a lot of the feedback that I've gotten so far has been positive. We've tripled our viewer interaction with our page.
Yeah.
Statistically, we've tripled it in terms of overall numbers. Maybe not that impressive.
Yeah, not that big, right?
Not that big. We're not fucking up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we're really like the only people in New York who are really, I mean, I don't really look at like mainstream wise. Like, I don't see a lot of guys from New York do a podcast. It's all like, they're already celebrities.
They're like comedians mostly.
Yeah, and they already have like a background, so people are like, oh shit, I know about this guy, so
like
let me go watch him.
Stavros, I sent you his podcast the other day. He just started one. I think it's called Stavi's World. Shout out Stavros. Halkias.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever the Greek last name is. But
I butchered it. But whatever the Greek last name is, that boy's a fucking stud.
Yeah,
he had fucking Mark Norman on. You know, hey, how's it going? It's a joke. Like, he's very like robotic in that way, but it works for him. But anyways, so they just launched his first podcast. I think it's 11 days ago now. Yeah. And he had Mark Norman. Either that or I'm completely mixing up guys. I might be, because I suck as a human being.
But what I want to get to is how many views is he getting already?
Oh, 10,000. Because I looked, because I'm like, oh shit, he just launched like 10 days ago. We just launched.
So right now he's probably got 1 million. Probably.
No, he's got 10K views.
Oh, today?
On his first episode.
Yeah.
As of last night when I sent it to you.
Oh, okay.
It probably went up for sure. Yeah. He's also like one of those guys that are up and coming though.
Yeah.
Stav.
But he's already got his feet on the ground. He's already getting there.
Have you seen his fucking crowd work?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a
fucking killer.
Yeah, he's nasty with it, right? He really is. Yeah, he is.
He's made me, and his laugh is like a signature fucking laugh.
He's like, I don't know, how old is he? He's probably around our age, right?
He's our age, yeah.
Yeah. He's like that high school kid that you were like, yo, this kid's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, there was nothing to hate about him. You just fucking laugh at the shit he was in.
He's a good soul. You can fucking
tell.
You can fucking tell. He's a fucking nice guy. I mean, if you look at comedy right now, all the podcasts are going on, up from Joe Rogan all the way down to Stavros.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to say that you're like the bottom of the barrel, but
but he's up and coming. He's brand new. It's a new podcast.
He's newer as compared to Joe, who's been doing it for, I think, over 10 years.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. Yeah.
He used to do it out of his office like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And from top to bottom, you just see this embrace of comedians reaching out to other comedians and putting them on platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're all bringing each other on to their shows,
yes,
you know?
because why not share the wealth?
Excuse me, world.
At the end of the day, if you have more viewers on comedy as a whole,
yeah,
it's only going to be good for everybody.
Of
because
course.
think about it. If Joe brings a guy like Stav was actually on Joe's podcast, I think 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Joe brings a guy like Stav onto his podcast. Stav gets, exposure to the 10th,
that's what it's all about.
To the 10th degree.
That's what it's all
Joe
about.
and Stav hypothetically go on tour together for some comedy circuit, right? And now Joe's not even only going to reach out to his fans, his base, but he might now have additional fans and an additional base from Stavros that he might not have had otherwise. So it's like everybody eats, and it's not bad for anybody, which is what I heard was exactly the opposite of the case back in even 10 years ago.
Yeah, people didn't want to put each other on because they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're greedy.
They thought there wasn't enough food going around.
Yeah. Who has to be my favorite comedian? Fucking Joey Diaz, bro.
Joey Coco Diaz.
Yeah. He's just raw.
He is raw.
The shit he says just gets me going.
Fuck you talking about, cocksucker?
Yeah. He's just so funny, bro. He just has no censor. I've been following him for a little bit. Well, for a while. But he's just one of those guys that I like that type of comedy where he just
talks. It's just real.
Yeah, he's just telling stories. I don't know if you ever saw his
stories.
Yeah, you ever seen his like little stories he tells on YouTube? He has like the Comedy Central ones.
Yeah, that was Ari Shaffir's old show.
Yeah, how funny is it?
What is it? It's this isn't happening. This can't be happening. Something like that. Yeah. This is not happening.
That shit's a throwback, bro.
That's a throwback, but honestly, that show put me on to this whole circuit.
Because that whole little group has been on there. They've all talked this shit.
That was out in L.A. When they were out in L.A.
None of them are in L.A. no more. It's all Texas.
All of them moved,
Texas,
except for Ari's probably in Ecuador right now. I think Bert Kreischer is still in Los Angeles or California generally. And,
everybody's Texas and
everybody else. Joey's in Jersey.
Yeah, you saw his shit that he was saying during COVID. He's like, it's a dirty place to be out here. He's like, I gotta go.
And so many people moved to Austin, Texas, because Joe's opening up that new club.
Yeah, it's just a nice place to be. Because you could imagine how bad LA is becoming.
And dude, it's like becoming a mecca.
Yeah.
Whereas New York City, Los Angeles,
they're just dying out. Yeah, it's not a...
I mean, those used to be the meccas before, but now there's like a third.
They gotta move
over. And they're moving over there.
You gotta move over.
They're making their own like section.
Yeah, I like Texas. You been there before?
I haven't been to Texas.
I've been there. I like Texas. It's a good place.
I've been to LA, and I actually,
I've been to Cali too.
I've been to Cali. I went to LA. I went to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Specifically because I saw all the work that they were doing, especially like
I had
on This Is Not
totally
Happening.
different time in LA.
And I saw Joey Diaz there.
I went to LA, I landed, I hung out, I have some family over there, and they're like, we're gonna go to this nice place. I'm like, alright, cool. So I get in the car, like, you got your passport? I'm like, where the hell? I'm like, oh, hopefully we fucking ended up in Tijuana. I was like, where the fuck am I? Yeah, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Sketchy business.
I ended up at the Comedy Store. My sister actually was with us. She had broken her ankle like the day before we were supposed to go, so she was
like hobbling around.
Yeah. You know those little things that you like put your knee on and scoot around like a madman? She had one of those. And or maybe she was on crutches. I think she was on crutches.
That's like a fucking grown-up's Power Wheels, right?
Either way, we get to the Comedy Store and we fucking go up to the front door and we're like, here's our tickets, and they're like, do you want to sit in the front fucking row? I'm looking at everybody I'm with. I'm like, yeah, let's
you get bombed in the front row, though. That's the thing.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't give a fuck.
That's like the best place to be.
I got tickets that night because Joey Diaz was fucking performing.
How was it?
And Joey Diaz was just up there, fucking red like a tomato, fucking yelling, cocksucker this, that, and the other thing.
He don't really point people out in the crowd, does he?
He didn't, no.
Yeah, really, most of the stuff I've seen is he's just raw, like he's just saying the funniest shit.
He was red, he was sweating, he was spitting. I had
to
wear a poncho.
I feel like they're just different style from like Stavi. Like he has a different style.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Stav is much more smooth, quick on his feet.
Joey's like that. That's why they call him Uncle Joey, because he is like you go to a Christmas party, fucking your Uncle Joe sitting in the corner over there.
Get away with shit though that a lot of people can get away with.
It's just who he is. He's just, like I said, he's a raw person. He's just
very raw. He says crazy shit.
Yeah.
He's an older guy.
He's
just more experience. He comes from a different time. You talk to Joey or you listen to Joey talk, it's like you went into a fucking time
like
machine.
old school fucking New York, New Jersey flow.
New Jersey.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
He's my favorite.
It's a great fucking time.
Shout out to Joey Diaz. I wish I could fucking go and hang out with that guy for a day.
Dude.
Imagine that shit.
That'd be crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
He's a fucking funny dude, man.
Yeah.
He's raw.
Have you seen anybody else? There's one guy that I'm really not like. I don't like his work, bro.
Who? You remember his name?
Yeah, I know his name. I just like people are gonna fucking get mad, but I like don't like Kevin Hart's work, bro.
Ooh, controversial.
Yeah, like I'm just like I like comedy that's just in your face, raw. Like
his style of comedy, I feel, is like so much different.
It's his. I feel like he's like a mainstream comic.
He is.
Like
he's doing stadiums.
Yeah, no. The guy's fucking. Listen, I've watched the shit like on Netflix. Lydia's been to his shows before. She went and he is funny, but he's like a different style to me. Why?
He could tell the fucking shit out of a story.
Yeah.
But you feel the fact that it's written out and thought about.
Yeah.
There's not the same chaos.
I like that
in his stories.
Raw. Yeah, I'm a raw comic type of guy.
There's not the same chaos as something that Joey Diaz would fucking.
Yeah. Well, all those guys, Tom Segura. Look at the shit he said. His stand when we went away for your party. Remember?
Yeah.
We had like fucking 10 minutes of spare time. We're like, yo, let's fucking throw on a comedy. We're just sitting there drinking a couple beers.
Yeah.
That guy's saying some raw shit and it's fucking hilarious.
He is.
And like
him and Bert.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's they're all that whole little group. Like when you watch them, they all got the same like. It's not a made up bullshit like written down story. Like yeah, they probably have shit written down because they have to probably rehearse it because they're doing show to show. But you could tell that like they were fucking. It's a life lesson, you know, like the shit they're saying, like. Yeah. And it always like comes back full circle where you're like, holy shit, like
the difference between it is like, is this is what I could say.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz will tell you about how he fucking kidnapped a motherfucker, robs a motherfucker,
with a
goes to jail for it, and how he became a better man because of it, and make it funny along the way. Kevin Hart
just keep me fucking going.
Kevin Hart talked about a baby on the back of a deer, bro.
Yeah.
And there's just like, yes, Kevin Hart's bit. Funny, I was rolling.
But he's like he got like a taste of money, and I feel like he's just like
I don't know, and I don't want to talk shit, but their styles are different.
Yeah,
obviously they're both super effective.
Yeah,
they're just different. Yeah. It's like talking about Nas or Lil Nas X.
Yeah, like I'm not hating on him, but I just like if someone was like, yo, I have tickets to a Kevin Hart show.
It's a preference.
Yeah, I would be like, yeah, I'll go because, yeah, shit he says is funny. But when I kick back and hang out, like when we're chilling, like I won't go looking for a Kevin. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't like fucking start YouTubing and stuff like that. Kevin Hart.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like
I do. I agree with you. It's my taste has changed because, and you know what? People like Kevin Hart and people like that, they have their place because they get your foot in the door because they're so mainstream and they have the reach to pull people into their comedy circle community. And then once you're like, okay, well, I've seen this is hilarious, let me dabble a little bit further, let me see what else there is out there. And then when you become a connoisseur, when you're swishing around in your fucking glass,
you know who put me on to all these comedians, right? You, except for Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz, I've watched since I was a kid. Even when he was like in movies, I've seen him. Like, I've seen since I was a kid. I just like
The Longest Yard.
I just liked his like.
Somebody get me a Coke.
Yeah, he's a Cuban. He's not Italian, but he always had like this like New York, like New Jersey Italian vibe. You know
why, right?
Yeah, but as for stand-ups and stuff, you put me on. Like since we were fucking young, you were like, yo, you got to see this stand-up. Like, cause I don't search anything up. Like Rogan, I remember from when I was younger. Like I watched Rogan, Diaz, like all their up and coming shit. But like for like actual stand-ups, like yo, you got to watch this guy. That. You fucking put me on. I remember the last time before we were like even adulting, bro. Crazy, because like this is when we were young, was fucking Mulaney, remember?
Oh my god,
John Mulaney.
He's a funny dude.
I remember watching that guy when we were younger. Yeah, he's funny, but again, he's got a style like I like it, but like I said, we prefer like I don't know. Me and you are like the same. We just like we're into like that raw like what the fuck is this guy saying? Like this is fucking hilarious.
I feel like we lean that direction because of the fact that we're from like New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're here, we don't like con artists.
No.
You don't like nothing.
Yeah,
like
you just
that.
like being told straight up, no bullshit.
Like, tell me straight up, and I'll respect your game if I should respect it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of comics,
Pop goes the weasel.
A lot of comics, like we were discussing, they're funny, but they're selling you a little bit of something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're selling themselves.
There's a little bit of bullshit behind it.
There's a little bit of, like obviously some of the things that are told, they can be made funny stories, but they're fictional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're fictional, and their purpose is to make you laugh, and they accomplish that.
Yeah.
But you gotta know you're reading a fucking fairy tale, and you're not reading a science,
That's
textbook.
what it is for me. I don't want you to tell me a joke to tell. I don't want a joke that's just made just to get a laugh.
Yeah.
I like the whole story. Like, yo, you want to hear this shit? Yeah, remember, like, even when we were younger, when I would talk to you, and I would tell you, like, it wasn't even like jokes. I was just talking shit and saying things about life. And then you're like, yo, that's the funniest shit ever.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always been, like, my go-to, you know? Damn, you gave me the one with a little bit more in there.
You want? Oh, no, you got more eyes.
Nah, it's okay. I'm Ubering anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Cheers, buddy.
It's a great honor that you told me that. I'll put you on to comedy. Oh, circling back to what you said.
Yeah.
You know why Joey Diaz gives you an Italian feel? After his mother died, he tells a story about how he actually found his mother the night that she died.
Yeah, I heard the story.
You gotta look
crazy,
You gotta listen to that story. It's on This Is Not Happening.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta listen to it because it's fucking touching. And after that, he, I believe, moves in with an Italian family with one of his friends, and they help him out for a while, and he stayed with them for a long time. So he grew up with a lot of Irish people and a lot of Italian people.
And he went to that Catholic school. That was one of the best skits I've ever heard. With the nun.
Name called? Mother what?
I don't remember, but I remember the nun.
Something with an H, I forget it. And he just talks about...
Bro, yeah, you gotta go watch it.
We can't spoil it.
Listen, you gotta
look up the episode with the nun.
Also, it's not my material to give out, but
it's just hilarious.
But definitely go catch it. The guy's just fucking hilarious. Like and like being like young and like being our age now. I mean, I'm not the youngest, but I'm not fucking old. But we all got an Uncle Joey. Even if his name's not Joey, I actually do have, you know, from my stepdad's side, I have a Joey, and he's just the same way. He just tells you stories. He talks mad shit. So it's always like, yeah, I have an Uncle Joey.
Relate to that character.
Yeah, so I have an Uncle Joey. So that's what makes it even fucking fun. Excuse me, it makes it even funnier.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the Brittany Griner situation that recently took place.
Yep.
Touch on that topic real quick, and then we're going to hop on our main topic.
Which is, as you can see here,
fucking UAP, UFO, that type of ordeal.
All the hidden documents, right?
The hidden documents. We got a few things lined up, so stay tuned. We're gonna go actually get a special guest for the first time on a Few Brews podcast.
There you go.
We'll have her introduce herself, and then we're gonna dive right in. Stay tuned. So what's going on? Can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yep, welcome.
I'm just kidding. What's going on? This is Jen. We're here to talk about a very, very interesting topic. And I brought you in because, honestly, you may be the leading authority right next to, what's his name? Ryan Corbell. I'm not even going to lie. So. You got a fucking encyclopedia up there in your old noggin, and I'm waiting to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
It's just a whole lot of
so what topic do you guys want to start with?
We're going to talk about the topic of UAPs.
What are UAPs?
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, we're not
unidentified aerial phenomenon.
UFOs.
Yep.
Yeah, the fancy new term for UFOs.
Yeah, the government, as you know, changed the term that they were using for whatever reason.
Because if they said UFOs, then that would be admitting that UFOs are real. So
yeah.
we gotta call them UAPs.
Right.
Allegedly, right?
Allegedly, yeah.
You just gotta move a little bit closer. Try to have
bring the mic closer to you.
Two fists.
Or if you want to hold it, you can hold it too.
You can hold it too. Just make sure it doesn't fall.
Okay. Is this close enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool.
Should be fine. So,
tell us everything you know.
It's been a really, really interesting time in terms
Navy.
of all of the documentation that has come out pretty recently. Jen, what do you know about it? What have you seen? I think we were talking about it in a group chat earlier today.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of shit about all the declassified stuff that they did, and like it's kind of funny because I feel like they let everything out, and they like didn't say anything, and only people who were really paying attention to it saw it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So. A whole lot of Bob Lazar going around, right? Right?
I feel like that's always been the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's always been the case that... it's always been the case... So you saw my dog. It's always been the case that it's been very, very under wraps.
Yeah.
And just recently, there's been this new outpour of information. Mm-hmm. And for the very first time, it seems... the information is coming from the government itself.
Yep.
Do, 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 do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. You like that one, didn't you? But it's been an interesting time. And
I wish I could talk bad about this place right here.
If you don't know Italian food,
I don't want to see. That should be Olive Garden's slogan. The best part, it says it's where the families eat on the bottom, right?
It's like, I don't know which families, but they're not Italians.
Yeah.
And if they are, they pronounce Italian with that hard I.
Yeah. And they try to say fresh mutts, right? But they say mozzarella.
They say the mutts. And they say gabagol. Anyways, we went on a brief rant about that. So one of the things that I wanted to look up real quick, or actually play for our viewers, is what I sent you guys earlier. So this is not in any way anything that we have produced or are taking credit for.
Yep.
They saw it. They saw the ad. This is on
YouTube. You can see that this is at Jeremy Corbell.
Yeah, this is credit to Jeremy Corbell.
He's got his Twitter handle up there.
Twitter handle's up there, and we're going to just listen into this brief description.
He's got some NVGs on.
In night vision video from a Navy destroyer, a mysterious flying triangle above the deck of the ship. The Pentagon confirming the images obtained by documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell were taken by Navy personnel, expected to be a part of a report on unidentified aerial phenomenon to be presented to Congress this summer.
Pause it for a second. See, my thing is, when I watched this earlier, when you sent this to me, why is it strobing? Right?
Already online, some skeptics say the images...
That's the whole thing, is that, like, you don't know.
Is that because, like, our regular planes have strobes, so it's like... That's what throws me off. The triangle shit is fucked up. I'm going to admit to that. But the strobe thing throws me off, right?
I don't think that I could comment in any type of intellectual way.
Is that a B-50? Like, you know what I mean?
The reason why is because I'm not sure, and I don't think it's indicated here, what type of system they're using. They're obviously using some type of night vision system, but we don't know off of what. We don't know if they're running off of goggles, off of some type of telescope, off of the ship, because this is certified from the Navy, so we don't know. And there has not been any formal, with regard to this video specifically, there's not been any formal like press release, I don't think, about that specifically. If you watch certain podcasts where certain naval officers who had been on F-16s, F-whatevers, and they talk about the instruments that they use, one of them, coming up in a second, being the footage captured regarding the Tic Tac that they saw.
Yeah, that's the one I was seeing,
He actually goes in depth about the type of equipment that they have and how they were capturing that image.
Yeah, he was in an F-18 and he was locking on it.
That, however, was thermal and not night vision.
Yeah.
And it was from the inside of an aircraft, not from somebody on a naval vessel in the ground. And I don't know what would affect the visuals.
They got like a FLIR on there.
I kind of trust like those types of videos more than like these types of videos, because when you're on the ground and you're looking up at the sky, anything can look.
Yo, you know what's crazy?
Something that's not supposed to be there.
I was at like my brother-in-law's house. I mean, him went out in the yard. We were like bullshitting. We were talking. I was looking up. I saw this thing like fly across the sky, and then it just like stopped. Like it was. I guess it was maybe like a comet or something. And like it was like it's still in the path of the sun's light. Yeah. And then like it got to the middle of the sky and just disappeared. But you guys see me. I'm always looking up at the sky like with stars. I'm always trying to catch a UFO or some shit like that. I mean, no one's gonna believe me, but I'm gonna.
But it's for you.
But yeah, at least I'll go to sleep at night.
Do you remember that night where I sent you both? I think I called. I might have called you, and I called you.
Yeah.
You were like, "What is is
I'm
that?
like, what's this going on? It was actually like a SpaceX rocket.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like, guys, this is it.
But it did.
Brace for
looked
impact.
Because
It did.
I remember when you sent the video, I was like, that's not real. But it was also sent to me by you, so I was like, oh. And then when I looked outside my window, I saw it.
I'm like, go outside, go outside,
Yeah,
look.
it was all the way. It was a lot. It was from like us all the way to Maine.
Yeah.
You could see it. Like,
so many people saw it and they freaked out.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this
I'm
video
sorry.
up real quick.
Caused by cameras trying to focus, but some of the objects go beyond just flying in the sky. One shows a spherical object dipping into the ocean, similar to an incident in Puerto Rico, where an object was tracked buzzing an airport, then flying into the water, popping back out before appearing to split into two and disappearing. Over the last several weeks, some of the nation's top former intelligence officials have been raising eyebrows.
It's rotating.
It's like defying gravity.
Former CIA Director R. James Woolsey said he knew of a case where a plane was paused in midair.
A friend of mine was able to have his aircraft stop at 40,000 feet or so and not continue operating as a normal aircraft. What was going on?
In December, ex-CIA Director John Brennan said it was arrogant to believe there are no other forms of life other than the ones on Earth. And former intelligence chief John Radcliffe says officials have been tracking technology beyond our capabilities.
We're talking about objects picked up by satellite imagery that are difficult to explain.
Like another incident off the coast of California in 2004 when a fighter squadron encountered an object that seemed to defy gravity. What do you think it is?
I honestly don't know. I don't think that we have developed that technology. I don't think we developed it.
This guy I've seen.
Yeah.
Video from that encounter and two other incidents were officially released by the Pentagon last year.
He said he couldn't even lock onto it. You know that, right? His Falier was like not locking onto it.
Of what they can't
You see,
explain.
that's why, like, this type of stuff, I believe, like, more because it's,
Yeah.
like, I do think that some things are definitely not what people think they are. Like, things
Yeah.
can be different types of drones that other countries have developed and stuff that we may just not know about. You know, or it could be, like, somebody bored in a farm in the middle of nowhere who, like, created a drone and it's not something we've ever seen before and all of a sudden it's, like, out.
But the crazy part about this is, like, what you were saying is, like, so back in the day, like, in, like, the 50s and 60s, we had, like, declassified things, like, through the CIA and through government, like right to know, whatever it is. And, like, we were, like, 40 or 50 years ahead of, like, Russia with technology. So we had things like fucking B-2, like, and all these bombers already, like, made before, like, people even knew about it.
Yeah.
So people were, like, in, like, the Midwest or, like, out in the West, like, seeing, like, B-2 bombers and stuff. Like, what the fuck is that? It's an alien.
Exactly.
And this was, like, in the fucking 90s and stuff like that. And it came out, like, a couple of years later, like, when we went to war, like, you know, for Afghanistan, whatever it was, like, we had all these same pilots.
So let me pick both of your brains. So that's a huge side of this argument that was that the government was actually a proponent of, where, you know, don't worry about it. There's a lot of stuff that you little people don't know about, and don't get all crazy. Don't get your panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
But
Mine's are in a bunch.
let me ask you the question that was posed by one of the gentlemen in the videos that we just watched. Is it arrogant to believe that we are in the universe
Completely alone.
completely alone?
No,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah,
I
like,
think that it's so ignorant and it's so, like, it just shows how stupid humans are that they're just like, we're the special ones, we're the only ones
the
who
center
could
of the
be working
universe.
here. Yeah, and because you also have to think, like, a lot of people don't think beyond what we know as humans, like, as us, you know, like, you see aliens depicted in, like, movies and stuff, and they always look, like, super fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that may actually be the case. Like, there's another form of life that may not completely look like us. Like, when they look at other planets or, like, the moons of other planets, and they say, like, there may be some form of life on there. It's not going to look like us.
Yeah.
Because
And that's the issue that we have. We always think that it's going to be something that we could compare it to.
yeah.
And we've also never seen the other side of the moon. Like, even when people went there. So it's like, how far could we really get? Also, the other theory is, like, they're not aliens. They're just us from, like, the future.
Yeah.
Because we've been, like, using, like, it goes back and back to caveman, and like we used to use our body for everything, and like now we're just getting smaller and smaller, and our heads are getting bigger and bigger because we're using our brains. We're using more of a thought process than actually like getting out there and doing things. So that's like the other theory. You guys probably heard that one before, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting theories around it.
But what about like the pyramids and stuff like that? Like that's like so unexplainable when you like actually think about it.
That's one of the biggest things. And when you look at
the materials of the pyramids.
So when you look at what was it, Apocalypse? What was that new Netflix thing? Apocalypse something.
The movie Apocalypse Now.
No. It was a guy who made a documentary. He was on Joe.
I know what you're talking about.
Ancient Apocalypse. Ancient Apocalypse.
Yeah, it was like it was so far away that it would take you like a day in a car to even get there.
They talk about the pyramids. But not just the pyramids, the famous ones in Egypt that we think about. Like they go to different islands. There are Mayan ones. And the way that they are finding that pyramids are existing in places, one, where the technological ability that we think that these civilizations had do not match up with the architecture of the structures that were made, which creates one of two, I guess, hypotheses that you could follow. Either one, it's a lot older than we think it is, or a lot newer than we think it is, rather, or they are more advanced than we understand them to be.
Well, I've seen a lot of theories around like how there seems to be like two different types of theories when you go down like the conspiracy rabbit hole, where it's like aliens have never been here, everyone's hiding in their own place, and nobody's interacting with each other, like the dark forest theory. But
can you just really quickly, because many people are not caught up to the dark forest theory.
So if you go deep in the internet, the dark forest theory,
deep down the rabbit hole, right?
Rabbit hole, or there's also a really good science fiction novel that really covers it well. But the dark forest theory is that the reason why we have not heard or picked up any radio transmissions from any other forms of life is because everybody's hiding in their own place, because the natural thought behind it is that, oh, we don't know if this next civilization is more advanced than us, and if they are more advanced than us, they can take us out. So it's better to just act like we don't exist, and if we do pick up radio transmissions, cool, we're not going to acknowledge that because we don't want attention drawn to us.
I call it the stay in your lane.
That brings us to one of the most recent happenings. I believe 2018, 2019, we picked up on our, I guess it must have been satellites, an object traveling closely to Earth's, close within distance to Earth itself, our planet. And at first it was like this big cigar-shaped...
I think it was really
space
close
trash
to the sun or something.
And they were saying it was space trash or meteors.
Yeah,
and
it
then
changed forms. It changed shape.
I don't know about whether or not it changed shape, but I know that Harvard astronomers or something like that had studied it and was like, no, this isn't consistent with what we understand. This thing that we're trying to play it off to be.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like
It looks like a giant ship carrier, like a Navy carrier.
And the thing is that the way that it moved wasn't natural because there's zero gravity in space, right? And as far as I know, the sun is just a burning star. It doesn't have a gravitational pull to it. It doesn't have an orbit.
Yeah, Omaha.
Yeah, that one.
So this is from a news outlet. Interstellar object may have been alien probe. Harvard paper argues, but experts are skeptical. Let's take a look, kids.
Yeah, thing's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Is this CGI or is this really it?
No, this is.
No,
this
I
is
know.
A
I'm just kidding.
No, but we should probably clarify that.
This object is simply a piece of another solar system that was expelled, and it has been traveling through interstellar space for hundreds of millions of years, billions of years, we don't know.
It's fucking crazy, man.
In theory, why could that not be like an arc?
Maybe.
We don't see that in our solar system.
Piece of a blown
None
up
of the
planet.
asteroids in our solar system look like that. So it's very puzzling how it could have obtained this shape.
What do you guys think? Bro, there's no way, like, we're the only people here, bro.
There's.
Bro, the internet, which the space is so vast, bro. It's big.
Yeah.
We can't even make it. Like when people go, like Musk and Bezos, when they go up high, they like don't even like they like don't crack like some crazy height. They like barely scrape like the edge of our like atmosphere. You know that, right? It looks, the camera that they take like a fisheye camera, so it looks like well rounded and stuff, but they're not going up that high. Oh, sorry. The Red Bull guy didn't go that high. It's like you're not really, like, it just looks like you're high up, 100,000 feet, whatever.
Wait, but for what? Or, like, what are you talking about? Or
they're not in,
specifically?
like, I was watching, you guys.
Like, their rockets generally, or their planes that they were
No, like the rockets they were using to go up and come back down.
So you're talking about, like, when Bezos went to space?
Yeah. Like, did you watch Neil deGrasse?
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, you watched it? You heard what he was saying? Like, I pretty much agree with, like, shit that he says.
What did he say?
He's saying, like, they barely scrape, like, our atmosphere. Like, they go up just high enough to take a picture with, like, a fisheye camera where it looks, like, crazy. Like, oh, I'm in orbit. But they're, like, nowhere near. Like,
well, not only that, there's military planes that now have the ability to go up high enough in the atmosphere where you reach zero gravity, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you're, like, on the doorstep of space, but not in outer space.
Because it'll just pull you out, no?
It depends how you're launched, I think.
Yeah, and once you break through like all the layers,
we still got to get to the
moon.
moon.
You no longer have any gravitational pull.
Yeah.
So it's not so much like you're expelled; it's more like there's nothing tethering you.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest thing.
I don't know. I mean, I agree. Like, I'll just say it. Like, I'm religious, but aliens, like, I believe in everything like that. There's no way I'm here by myself.
There's a lot of speculation that, like, the Quran
I know what you're talking about.
mentions a lot of stuff about how, like, God created everything, and like there's
like little images and stuff, right?
Well, no, there's like verses, but you have to be careful because you have to make sure that your translations are like really, really accurate.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest problem, and the Quran has been translated incorrectly before,
right?
Yeah.
But there are certain things where, like, it's plural, you know, like all of the people and all of the universes and stuff, and I forget exactly how it's worded, but basically it makes it sound like God didn't just create this civilization, he created all the civilizations.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what do you mean by that? So a lot of people have taken that to believe that, like, the Quran, which was created very long time ago, was acknowledging alien life.
Yeah, but that goes back to say, like, what about all the pictures, like Da Vinci and all these people drew, when everyone's like, oh, there's like spaceships and stuff in their pictures.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you look to like ancient civilizations, whether it be Egypt or South American civilization, the Incans, Mayans, Aztecs, they all have depictions of things that do not seem to line up with what we know, what we think we know, was something that they would be able to see at that time.
Well, that's like the new hollow earth theory that a lot of people have been talking about, is like all of these specific places, like the pyramids and stuff, is like a direct route to hollow earth. And basically, if anything was going to come to our planet, it was going to come when we were much simpler and when we didn't have nuclear weapons that would mess everybody up.
Yeah.
So if they came all the way back then, there's a theory that they never left. So there's a theory that, like, there's, like, you know, like a little chute underneath a pyramid. I'm simplifying it. That, like, brings you to hollow
Just to clarify.
What about the pyramid in Antarctica?
Well,
you haven't seen that?
You saw that? I saw that on Google Earth the other day.
Yeah,
somebody else had that.
That's legit, bro.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories about the fact that like the North and South Pole,
they flip, right, or something like that.
Not only but they're also said that like they could be like docking stations for like whoever's watching us, because there is like it would make sense that there is some sort of higher intelligence out there, because our universe is only 4.5 billion years old. And they think that space is like almost 14 billion years old. So that puts us 10 billion years behind everything else.
But let me ask you this right now. How the hell do they know how old space is?
I have no idea.
How the fuck... excuse me. No, shit. All right, I'm going to just flat out say it. How the fuck do you know how old space is when we can't even get to the other side of the fucking moon,
well,
bro?
That's the thing that's so funny,
right?
is that people want to release papers and like say like, no, we are the only ones here.
Yeah, it's BS.
Everything is theoretical. Everything.
Well, yes, it is theoretical.
Yeah.
What the method that they've, as I understand it, used when trying to construct what it would be like to have viewed outer space thousands of years beforehand is based off of the trajectories and the way that we know that the universe moves around us now, the galaxy moves around us now, and basically retracing your steps using same or similar speeds to basically move everything. And that's how in Ancient Apocalypse they were able to say in that one location where they found all of those pyramids, saying that like each one of these pyramids, they were like facing or pointing towards a specific place or specific constellation or specific star at different times in Earth's history. So that's my very mediocre understanding of it.
But also they were like that Egyptians use power tools and all this stuff, bro. Well, there's so much like...
The thing is, the tombs that they were making, or the pyramids that they were making, they had slabs of...
material. It was like a special material that only came from like the bottom of the Euphrates, like on the other side.
I don't know about
and they had
that,
to,
but
like,
just...
travel, like... They said it would take you like a day by car or something like that. And how many years by like foot carrying a slab?
That being one thing, but another thing being the sheer weight of these objects.
You would need, they said, how many guys to fucking pull? You can't pull that.
No.
The math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'.
Something ain't added up here.
You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking interesting thing, and it's almost like a modern day fucking like puzzle.
Yeah.
That we don't know how to fucking solve.
Yeah.
Because we're so fucking smart, but we're really not.
Yeah.
Well, we can't even measure space because we don't even know where it fucking ends. So I don't know why we're like giving it an age, you know?
Well, I've heard before.
I get like our planet, like you could carbon date like rocks, I guess, or something like that.
Have you heard of this? Hold on, let me just get this out.
Yeah, blow my fucking mind.
Let me blow his fucking mind.
Please.
It's not hard.
Do you know that there are different levels of infinity?
No.
That some infinities are larger than others?
That's what I'm saying. Who comes up with this shit?
He's like, let me bring up my video. Different infinities.
Yeah, he says some wild shit too, right?
Yeah. Well, because everything is like relative, you know? Like it's like
I don't know.
It's almost like if you look at like orbits around the sun and stuff.
Is that Jet Li? He got old, man. His hat.
It's muted.
But isn't that the definition of infinity? That somewhere, if there is really an infinity, there's not only a you and an I, but there's a you and an I and everybody else we've ever met, and all the exact events in the exact same order have gone down an infinite number of times, including this conversation.
Okay, except there is, I don't know how many people know this, but often it's mind-blowing when you learn that some infinities are bigger than others.
Yeah, it is mind-blowing.
2 feet away from the microphone.
Fucking Cleveland Browns over there. Just blew my mind.
Size.
But if it's infinity, then it's infinity. It's infinite. What is no?
Okay.
Right?
When you were a kid,
What's a Cleveland?
$1 million. Well, $1,000,001. Right. Okay, how about billion. It was a billion and one. The annoying kid always added one to it. Okay, how about infinity? Well, infinity and one.
Right.
Okay, well, it turns out infinity and one and infinity are the same number. Okay, so here's the so for example, the number of counting numbers, so 1, 2, 3, up to infinity. Okay,
right.
The numbers you would use to count things, that's infinite. The number of irrational numbers, so the numbers that you cannot represent as a fraction, okay, that there are more of those than there
He's
are
fucking confused. He's confusing himself right now.
So these are orders of infinity. Then there are more transcendental numbers than there are irrational numbers.
What's a transcendental number?
So
that's what my next question
as
was.
A solution to an algebraic equation. So pi is a transcendental number. E is a transcendental. These are magic numbers that show up in mathematics. And turns out there's like an even bigger infinity of those.
As long as we got something going on.
Yeah, look at that hat.
Like, I'm so
look at that hat.
The table. I hate it.
But yo, I love him. But does he look like Cleveland from Family Guy?
You're right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nah.
Cancel Frank.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. There's just something that happens every day that reminds me that I'm fucking stupid.
Every day.
You can't put it any simpler than that.
Every day.
Yeah.
Things happen that we were like, that could fucking happen?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yep.
Bro, it's a fucking, I have to say it because I say it every fucking podcast. It's a fucking interesting time to be alive.
Yeah, it is.
It's a crazy fucking world, baby.
I need that hat he got on. That hat is fire.
That's called the Fedora 3000. Dropping.
That's the fucking
2023.
No.
That's the Crocodile Dundee. That's the fucking what's it called?
No, that's the guy from Skull Mountain. What is it called?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. That's Indiana Jones.
Indiana
right
Jones 23. Or the 3.14 if you get it. Pi.
Yeah, so we're all in agreements that aliens exist, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
they have to. I mean,
my boy over here don't believe nothing.
The thing though is that I feel
what
like
do you think?
You have to have such an open mind because it can't be like the aliens from like the movie like Dark Skies.
Yeah.
Like you can't try to picture what it's like. You have to like you have to agree with the theory. You can't try to picture it in your head. And I think that that's where like a lot of people are just like, no, we are the only civilization.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
They can't picture like form.
I keep forgetting to bring this up. Going off of that same fundamental idea comes the idea or the theory of ultra terrestrials.
Yes.
Which are different from aliens.
Yep.
But follow the same line of reasoning that you were just talking about because those are actual, like the UFOs that we're seeing, like the classical fucking, whatever you
flying
call
saucers.
it, the saucers, the Tic Tacs, whatever. Those are actual.
Those are things that are comprehensible to us.
Because the only thing that we can imagine is, oh, that's some type of aircraft.
Yeah.
When in actuality, that could be a type of animal, type of being. That's where the name ultra-terrestrial comes from.
And that's why I thought that...
Like a jellyfish.
When we saw the movie Nope, that's why I thought Nope was so genius.
Because it was. It came off of that.
It was genius. Okay. So I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah, can you guys show me like an image of something from Nope?
It'll come up. So
no, you know a movie I like, Interstellar. You guys ever seen that?
Really good
like
movie.
multi-dimensional beings
that's what I was
like Bigfoot. They say Bigfoot's multi-dimensional.
Yeah. Nope was that it was so interesting as like an alien horror movie.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie played with the idea that like as humans we're constantly trying to compare things to ourselves in order to understand them.
Yeah.
So like one of the most simplest ways that the movie showed this was through there were all these flashbacks. The guy in the cowboy outfit, he used to be a child star. And they keep having these flashbacks to when he was a kid on set, and the sitcom that he was on had a chimp in it.
Yeah.
And one day the chimp a balloon pops or something, and the chimp just loses it and kills a bunch of people.
It's fair to say the chimp went ape shit.
Anyway, so
I was just kidding, guys.
The chimp kills a bunch of people and like disfigures the woman that you saw.
Yeah.
And him as a boy, he hides underneath the table, and there's like a plastic tablecloth that's like in front of him. So the chimp sees him, but doesn't attack him
because he loves him.
No. So
strike.
No.
Stay right. It's like fucking Michael Jackson and Bubbles, right? What? That's his pet chimp. You remember Michael Jackson?
No.
Oh, no, I did not remember.
Like,
it's basically like said like, oh, why did this thing go like nuts? And it's like, because it's an animal, and because of the fact that you could hold its hand and you can make it eat a cake or whatever, that doesn't make it a human.
Yeah.
And no matter, and they had the chimp like dressed up and stuff, and the whole point was that like, we have to stop trying to understand things
through our dumb
human brains.
Human, we're barely different than chimps.
Exactly, but the thing is that like that's to me that's what the whole thing was trying to say was that like we're dumb and that we keep trying to understand things through ourselves, and that's not the way we understand things. Like that chimp should have never have been in a TV studio. It should have never been dressed up as a human. It shouldn't have been thrown a birthday party because it got irritated and it acted like a chimp, and then everyone freaked out about it. And the spaceship in it turns out to be the alien, and the spaceship basically just took on this form
of a cloud. It's camouflaged using its natural surroundings.
And then when you see it, it looks like what we would figure a UFO, like a shiny
cylindrical spherical object.
And then in the end, it finally shows its like true form. And like I know a lot of people.
It looks like it looks like a what is it called? A stingray.
It looks like a piece of origami. Like,
or stingray. It looks like a sheet of some sort, but it has like it eats the people.
Yeah. And like
that's what people have been seeing, and they've been saying they've seen in the ocean, like giant stingrays. Like that.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is that like people, I know that like after that movie came out, like people were just like, oh, it was such a disappointment that like the big bad ended up being like this thing that looked like a morphing bedsheet. But that's so much more terrifying because it's like it's not anything that we would expect something that could like kill us all would look like.
I get you. Let me see if I can find it.
It's a fucking interesting time.
Yeah, and I think that that's more accurate to like the way we should be thinking. We shouldn't be thinking about civilizations and like ultra-terrestrials as like looking like humans and acting like humans and having a civilization just like ours. Like they're not, because they're not us, and they're not gonna. They, like scientists look through the universe, even in our own galaxy, there are so many planets that are like, they're kind of close.
Earth-esque?
Yes, they're kind of close to being Earth-esque.
There's like dozens of them, right?
Yeah, so like one of them that's like really interesting is like Titan, which is one of Jupiter's
Can't
moons.
find it.
I think
they're the moons of the of some planets are similar to Earth.
That Titan is Jupiter's moon.
Do you think, Frank, that if we were to be invaded by an alien race, that we would stand a chance?
No.
You know that a lot of these...
we can't even travel like into deep space.
Do you know a lot of these UFO, UAP sightings have been above military and nuclear specifically bases, turning them on and off almost to be like a huge FU to the government, being like, we have the power to control these things. You're not actually in power. We're letting you sit at the wheel, but we have the keys.
Yeah.
Okay, so Titan is the largest moon of Saturn. And then Europa is one of the moons of Jupiter. And those two, there are both movies about both of them. On Netflix, there's The Titan, which is about how they genetically mess with people to try to make them able to live on the moon Titan. And then, and it showed how like they morphed humans, the actor, into like another type of creature because that's what he would need to live on Titan.
Yeah, you need to adapt.
Yeah, and then Europa, there was a really good movie on that too, where it was like it's supposed to be like a frozen planet, but they know that there is like there's supposedly an ocean underneath the ice on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no reason for us to not believe that there's a heat source within that water that would nurture life.
Yeah. Now, what about the other theory on like Earth that we have another ocean like under our ocean and stuff like that?
Why not?
Isn't that like the hollow Earth theory?
No, there's like a few different theories. There's like the hollow Earth theory, which is like in I don't remember where, but they found like a forest, like an ancient forest, like
under the surface,
like underneath like a mountain or something, and they were like, this is weird that we've never found this before.
Right.
So it's like we think that we've explored a majority of land, right? But we've only explored like 5% of the ocean. So there's still so much that we don't know.
Well, that goes back to like the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the way that they're drying up. I think it was one of you.
They're finding like
it was you, and you had sent me this video of like, well, it ties in again to very religious like beliefs, and that when the Euphrates Tigris River dry up, it's gonna release like all of the angels that were in prison there, and that there were almost like tunnels or prisons. Yeah. They were comparing it to prisons. I think there were tunnels. And you hear them screaming on it. And it's like, I look at that. I look at that and I'm like, at the top of the video, it's like, this is a real video from the Euphrates River. I'm like, that's not a real video from the Euphrates River, is it? I'm like your bullshit meter starts to go off. Exactly. Yeah. Like it's
the screaming I don't believe, but like
the structure, the structures themselves.
The drying up is like basically a fact. Like the Euphrates is drying up, and there is weird caves underneath. Now those caves could have been naturally made either like 1 million years ago. The Euphrates could have not have been a river. People could have like done stuff to the land, and then when it became a river over hundreds of years,
like get out of Dodge.
Yeah, and then it dries up again, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god!" But it could just be something that's just so old that we didn't know it was there before.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Oh, there's a lot of crazy shit going on. All the rivers in like on our planet are like drying up. You notice that?
Global warming's gonna kill us all. We're gonna kill our planet because we have this science. We have the means to literally hold our planet's fate in our hands, and we're like denying it. And being like, nope, the planet's dying. We can't do anything to stop it, and we can't do anything necessarily to stop it. But there's stuff that we could do to slow it down.
So then what do you say to the people who would answer your point by saying that if you look at the history of the Earth as a whole, that there are always fluctuations plus and minus over the course of Earth's lifetime, and that this isn't a great deviation from that?
Well, I would say that just the most simplest terms, even without looking at science reports or anything like that, storms are so much more intense now. Like we used to get big storms like every couple of years.
To be fair, how far back do our records go?
Not that far.
And there are stories, if we're looking to biblical sources of, for example, from the Bible, great floods.
Yeah.
We, and this goes back to our own hubris again, I believe. We think that we know everything. We think that our little science beliefs that they're it, but we've proven time and time again that we advance and we look back at what we thought was real and science, and it was science at the time, but it was based on our understanding and our instrumentation to calculate the different understanding that we had at the time.
Well, I think that's why so many scientists are kind of like, we have to run our tests and we have to publish our theories, and then people have to decide like what the truth is in that and how the truth will evolve. It's not you can't look at science as necessarily being like, this theory was wrong. It was like
science is like a compass.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a whole bunch of trial and error, like I said last time.
It's always going to change. Things that were not possible.
And it could
but there's also the other theory
tomorrow.
That like the pole, like same guys you were talking about from Netflix. Like every 10,000 years, like the poles switch. Like we get like a.
I think that's a thing though. Isn't it?
Like the Earth just like the poles like flip.
Yeah.
And like we get cold and we get like crazy like winter and or we get crazy summer and it's winter on the bottom. Like it just like switches and it messes everything up, and we get like a big what do you call that when it snows a lot? Had a couple of drinks. No, like a global cooling. They say.
Oh, like ice ages?
Yeah, we get like an ice age. That was like the other thing, like from the last ice age. Like they were like, oh, the poles flipped, and so like he's saying, like we can't date that, we can't go that far back. It's like weird, right?
No, it is weird because everything is literally hypothetical, and I think that's what really scares people is the fact that like everything.
We don't have the answers.
We don't. Everything is a theory. Everything's a theory.
I want to go into another theory. What about that? They're saying there's a big ass asteroid that's gonna hit the Earth like in 2029.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Look it up.
There's like this huge thing, and it's like big enough to kill us all, and I don't know.
Earth-ending asteroid.
It's named like a Passes or some shit. It has like a weird name.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Could make a close encounter on
Although
April 13th.
Yep, 2029.
Apophis will not hit Earth anytime soon. The asteroid will make a close encounter with our planet on April 13, 2029, when it will pass within just 19,000 miles.
Yeah. Do you know how close that is?
That's closer than most geosynchronous satellites and 10 times closer.
What if it gets pulled in?
And
10 times
wait.
10 times closer than the moon.
Yeah.
Yep. And guess what? Wait, hold on,
Yeah, bro.
hold on.
It could get pulled in by like our gravity.
I gotta put this in my calendar.
19,000 miles, like we go higher than that in a plane. We go to like 39, 42. We go up there.
Really, really close. So guess what April 13th is?
What is it?
April Fool's Day. I mean, Friday the 13th.
There you go.
Friday
the
the
1st.
Yeah.
That's April 1st.
The brain wasn't braining. What can I say?
It was not braining.
It happens.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun time to be alive when everyone's like Friday the 13th, everything's gonna end.
So the other theory is that like they're lying to us, and like that's actually gonna like fucking hit us.
I mean, I could see that like being it because you have to think that
That's
like,
not 19,000 miles in that video. I mean, 1,000 feet in that video.
Don't you ever touch your knee to my knee like that
I'm
again.
sorry. If you were wearing jeans, that wouldn't be a problem.
What are you wearing today? What's beneath the desk?
I'm just kidding. It's not like jean on jean contact, right? It's just like the most friction ever.
I fucking hate both of you.
Frank keeps fucking kicking me.
No, that's not me. That's
He's swinging his fucking Uggs around.
I know.
His mugs.
We're all wearing Uggs.
I heard they call you. I heard they call you Muggsy.
That's like.
We're all gonna die.
Gonna like hit us. Like that was like a big like government thing like that they were hiding from us.
But you have to think that like it would make sense to like hide it from us. Like I know a lot of people are like the government's lying.
They don't want us to panic.
Yeah, like could you think about the way civilization would collapse if people knew that
Yep.
like
nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing matters anymore. It's
well, not
like
even
that episode of Loki where he figures out that like they're going to the end of the world on each planet, and he's like nothing matters, and he's like kicking over things and stuff because it's literally what would happen. People would
think
be like,
about it.
Matters.
Think about it. Just a couple of months ago, right? Mm-hmm. Why did we go and like blow up an asteroid and like try to change its like path?
Because we want to see if we fucking can.
Yeah.
But
why?
Why? Like all of a sudden we have this knowledge that
because we realize that we're on a grain. We're on a grain of sand in the middle of a beach. In the middle of a beach that at any moment can be struck by another grain of sand.
Yep.
On our beach.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
So I'm saying
it's all the same beach.
Just
what about
it,
Brittany
please,
Griner? What about that?
Oh, her getting freed?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Good for her.
What about the guy they left behind?
The guy that they traded her for?
No. What about the soldier that they left behind?
I don't know anything about the soldier. What's the deal with the soldier? Because I saw people like talking about it, but I didn't.
He's like there for like spying. Like,
Here's
they're
the
saying
thing.
that he was spying. But
Here's the thing.
Tell me, please.
So Brittany Griner was a WNBA basketball
I
star.
know that, yeah.
She to have a little bit of backstory. She was traveling from the United States into Russia
to play
for playing reasons, and She was picked up. She got collared, as some may say, for possession of what is essentially a THC cartridge, THC liquid, which is the psychoactive ingredient in marijuana.
She had like a live resin card on it.
She had basically something that you could get on the fucking street right now in New York City.
And she claimed that it was an accident, that she didn't even mean to have
whatever
it.
The case, whatever the case is, she got 9 fucking years in a work in a labor camp. Yeah. So the other guy, what was his name? Forgive me. Paul
Whalen. There you go. Yeah. That's funny because I was just thinking Paul, and if I said the wrong name out loud, I look like an asshole. So.
Don't go so wild.
So that's Paul Whalen.
Oh God, are you?
Yeah, the other picture is of him a little older now. That's him.
He's 52 years old now.
Yeah.
He was accused of espionage while in Russian territory.
I think that it's two. To be fair, I think that it's two totally different, two totally different things. Like, you have a U.S. Marine that was arrested in Moscow, for what did they think he did?
Espionage, allegedly.
Yeah, so that's really, really serious. And whether or not he did it, that's a really serious thing to be accused of. And then you have Brittany, who literally just whatever, had some THC on her. And that's the thing, is that I feel like people don't understand that it's a totally different ballgame. There's a difference between going to a government and being like, hey, we have this WNBA star who is being imprisoned for 10 years.
But it's what we traded for her.
And that is the merchant of death. Yeah. You know what's really a crime? That mustache. I gotta stop doing that fucking shit. You do have to stop doing that. Okay, so he allegedly had made a lot of fucking money off of the fucking arms deals that he was a part of.
Yeah,
there were movies.
Enough planes to do drops. He was doing weapons drops.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying that the trade was very one-sided, that the U.S. lost this trade. So the question is an American life worth an American life, or is it not?
What do you mean?
That's the question that a lot of people are asking. If you're saying that Brittany Griner was a good trade,
this in a horrible way.
If you're saying that Brittany Griner, because she was American and because we got her back, that's a win, that's the question.
It's as simple as that. That's the problem, is that people think that
that's how people try to simplify it.
Yeah, people try to simplify it and try to be like, oh, America,
And I'm not saying I'm a proponent.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I feel
that idea.
I feel like people think that America called up Russia and was just like, hey, we want this person back. Who do you want back? And they were like, we want the Merchant of Death back. And the U.S. government was just like, okay.
And they're like, we'll take our basketball player.
Yeah, but there's a lot of controversy with this too, though. That's the thing.
Though, for them to even figure it out, because I'm sure that they didn't want to give.
Do you know what I think it is?
Tell us.
This is in my heart of hearts what I think it is.
It smells so bad.
I think that.
Just got a full whiff as soon as he spoke.
I think that politically, Brittany Griner was in the news. It was a hot topic, and it was a chance for the administration to get some good press.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I think to a certain degree, I think that there are people in the government who are vain enough to think that if they had traded this man for it was proven that she had the THC. She did it. She's in jail for it. Sorry, computer. And this guy did what he did. I think that there was an internal argument in the government that if they traded this guy for Paul Whalen, that it would have been an admission that he was there to do what he was accused of. And I think it's way more complicated than people are making it out to be.
I see what you're saying.
So,
what do you think of that?
I have
No, what do you think to the thought that you just said that would have been an admission of guilt?
Yeah.
I don't.
Because if you simplify it, it's like a criminal for a criminal, right? They are not on equal playing.
So you're saying the American that we would be saying, yes, they did this. We'll give you somebody if you give us somebody.
Yeah.
We'll give you somebody bad, who we think is bad, if you give us somebody who you think is bad.
Exactly.
And we're both gonna agree that they're prisoners.
They both did,
and that they deserve to be traded,
and that they deserve to be traded because they are both people who broke our laws.
I don't know if I buy that though.
I wouldn't buy it.
But the thing though is that I can see it being that.
I could see that being a perspective
because when you also think about like how tensions have been like more worse than they've ever been since the Cold War. Like I think the last thing they want to do is like be like, oh yeah, we want our espionage guy back and we're gonna trade him for this guy because it's the same thing.
Paul's been there for a long time though.
I feel bad for the guy. I really, really do. I think that they should work something out with him, but I think it's way more complicated, especially when it's between two countries that are like historically
100% 100% we're in the dark.
You gotta understand one more thing. Like this guy Victor that they gave back.
Yeah.
He's not over there like, oh, I'm a free man. He's in Russia right now, trying to get them to like go to war with us.
Well, everyone's trying to.
No. He's like on state media. He's like saying how we're like the most like unpatriotic country. Like
I'm sure
we're anti-God. Like we're 100% like.
A lot of countries that have
No. But he's like steering them in the right like direction to come at us. He's like, don't you see? Like this is all political. Like, of course, political. Yeah. But he's like, of course they don't give a crap about their Marine. They're like, what's gonna get more votes? What's gonna get the people in power back in power? Like we're gonna give them back. Like America right now is so into transgender, they're into this and that. Like you gotta watch his interview with Russia State Media. Like he like laid it out exactly how like I fucking see how our country is going. So you have people that are in Russia seeing that, and people in our own country seeing that are like, wow, this guy fucking knows what's going on, and he's been in jail for how long? Like 10 years. Yeah, so
I think
he's in the jail system, and he knows how our country's going.
Also because I think a lot of people forget that like you have like TV and you have internet privileges and stuff like that in jail. So the idea that
I don't know about these guys.
Well, I don't know, but the thing is that like it's not.
These guys might be in a fucking
this guy got busted like selling weapons in Colombia. Yeah. He was selling them to a DEA agent, and the reason he was buying these weapons were to blow down a U.S. like a U.S. plane to kill Americans.
Yeah. Separate and apart from the merits of each one of their respective alleged cases, I think there's an undertone that has not been talked about too much, and it's the fact that the individual here, Brittany Griner, she's one LGBTQ and two black. Yeah. And I think that colors, and a lot of people are afraid to touch that topic or talk about it, but I think that colors the undertone of a lot of people's opinion about the fairness of the swap.
Well, I think that people are going to be mad regardless because you're going to have people here who are going to be outraged because they're going to be like, this is just another black queer woman that's being locked up because she had a smidgen of something that is now legal in a majority of our states. And then you're going to have other people who are going to be mad because they're like racist and they're like, oh my god, they didn't get the white guy out, so people are gonna be mad no matter what, and people
there's layers
there's a lot that goes into this, but how do you explain like our own people that are doing time, like our own American citizens?
That's another thing.
They're doing time.
That's a whole other thing.
And the same thing, like
where people,
what makes her so special? I'm not racist and I'm not against anybody's
I think like anything else,
gender, but still,
I think it's just another thing where the government can be like, look, we're doing the right thing. And meanwhile, it's like, what about everyone else who's like now in prison for something that is now legalized? And they're like, what? Like,
you're like, but we did the one thing.
But we got the other thing. Yeah. Like,
we
took care of the other thing.
They're like, okay, so do everything else. And they're like,
that's a little more complicated.
We don't accept that offer.
Just
said the government.
Because then what are you going to do? You're going to have to like undo a bunch of like felonies and stuff, and you're going to have to release people whose lives you've destroyed. And then once they're released, what are they going to do? They're going to sue the government.
Well, you have to also see it from this point of view from a lot of people. Like I have a lot of friends and family that are military. This guy was selling weapons that were killing our guys in Afghanistan.
Right.
Now, if we really wanted this, if we wanted Paul Whelan back, and we didn't give two shits about Russia, we could get a team in there that would snatch and grab this guy instantly. We'd take him right out of there, right? But it's just so political. That's the problem.
Respectfully, also, though, a different side of that argument that could be said, too, is that, yes, we have this one person, Paul Whelan, who is in prison right now, who shouldn't be there. We could all agree that that's a fact.
Yeah, of course.
He shouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. And that you could, if you wanted to, release him.
Yeah.
We could also, if we wanted to, release all of these people in our own prisons for things that we now barely give a shit about.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah. And I think that as a country, we all need to be working and pushing our government to serve that purpose, that moral purpose more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that it's not right, whether it's looking for Paul Whelan or whether it's fighting for our own people back home, both of whose lives are wasting away. Yeah. Essentially because we're not doing enough. Right. Yeah. And we need to hold ourselves accountable. It's right to be angry that Paul's there. It's right to be angry to look in the mirror and say, we have all of these other people here. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
There needs to be people speaking on these topics and putting pressure on the people in power to get that done.
No, I agree. But I also think that it's, like we said, like it's way more complicated. Like, who knows why they chose specifically this guy? Who knows what sort of like conversations went on? Well, there could be reasons that we don't even know about. The reason why, like, we could have given this guy to Russia. I mean, who knows if it has anything?
You know why they chose this guy? Because that's a smack to the face to Biden.
Well, yeah.
That's just a smack and like you're a dumbass.
It was also the family of Whelan himself, though, who had came out against. I think it was Donald Trump who was actually tweeting a lot about it, saying, "Oh, this is a disgrace. If I was in power, some type of thing, like we would have negotiated a better deal and the U.S. would have won." And his family came out against that type of propaganda and propaganda put out by other people on the right, saying, "Listen, my son or my cousin, whatever brother." Paul Whelan's name has not been in your mouth for years. Yeah. Now, when it's politically convenient for you to talk about it and say that we got the bad end of the stick,
suddenly you care.
Suddenly you care.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Stay woke. Stay
That's why I just said. That's why I started with. This is a little more political and
it's very
deep.
Yeah.
We all agree no American should be imprisoned in Russia. Yeah. For essentially what we probably know is BS.
In any country.
So what he got like popped for, like Whelan, like he like had like he met like a Russian like undercover with like a USB drive with like pictures of like the country and shit. So they were like, yeah, that's spying and blah, blah, blah. So,
well, it said when I was reading his quick Wikipedia page that he worked for an international automotive company that had some type of contact with Russia.
Right.
If you're in another country, especially Russia, and they know that they could use you as a chip to get someone who they want, they're playing chess. Yeah. They're not only playing chess, they're playing 3D chess. Well, so they could put whatever they want to put down on paper, and they'll do it, and we'll be over here, they'll be over there, and they'll say, whether you like it or not, whether it's true or not, we have your guy, game on. Yeah. Yep. Now we have a chip to play against you, a card to play against you.
Oh, he's a Marine? Added bonus.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that you don't know. None of us are ever going to really know what's going on.
They're playing war games. Yeah. These places are playing war games.
It's only a matter of time before we just like bump heads with each other. You know? But what are you going to do? It's above, honestly, it's just above our pay grade, just our life pay grade. Because this is all about fucking higher, like the higher ups, the oligarchs, this is all about them.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with us.
And that's just like different.
You know?
Yeah.
And there it goes, right?
There it goes.
A fucking another episode.
Another episode of A Few Brews podcast.
All right, everybody.
Thank you guys for taking the time to sit down and listen to what the fuck we were talking about, because it's a whole lot of nonsense, a whole lot of shit that makes sense, and a whole lot of shit in between.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just a giant whatever sandwich. But I just want to end it on this note. Like, comment, just tell us anything you'd want us to talk about, get a different opinion on, and
share us with
just see. Yep.
Whatever comes to your mind.
Share us, and just tell us anything you'd like to hear two normal guys just talk about. I mean, we have opinions, you have opinions. Debate us. If you want to come here and debate us, you can debate us, right?
Yeah, there's always an
and we'll always be here. So,
thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys
on another episode
of A Few Brews podcast. Good night, everybody.